Hey everyone, so this is going to be a video for my simple checkpoint blueprint system. It's going to be about showing you guys how to pass variables to the system. So if you had more character information, experience points, health points, and you wanted to use this system to store the information, you can do this. Okay, so inside of your level, it doesn't matter which level you are or where you are, as long as you've got information to pass on, that's what we're going to do. So let's say I had a boolean that was telling me whether my character was small or big, and I wanted to pass this information to my checkpoint so that my checkpoint knows when to respawn the player. Am I going to be big or small? So let's say we have all this variable inside of the character, or maybe it's inside of another actor. It doesn't really matter where that information is stored, and we wanted to pass it on to the checkpoint actor. So to do this, we're gonna go inside of the checkpoint actor and just try to look at how everything kind of works a little bit. We're not going to be concerning too much about what happens in this sequence of the begin play, but what happens when the information is being passed on and saved. So there's three of them, one for the box, one for the sphere, and one for the capsule. We're using the capsule, so the information is going to be saved over here. It's going to go through this node, which this save checkpoint is a function library. Inside of this function library, it's going to save the game slot with all the information that we give it, right? So let's say we wanted to pass it some new information. The first place we're going to have to go is inside of the save class, which is inside the checkpoint BP folder blueprint checkpoint save. This is the save actor that the system is using. So now we want to store new information. So to do this, we obviously need a new variable. This could be anything. If you're having character XP, if you have arrays that you want to save, anything that you need to save. In our case, it's just a simple boolean that says is character small. Now we're gonna save it. So now we need to pass this information. We already have this variable being on and off from our character, in our imagination at least, and now we need to pass it on. So double click on this node, save checkpoint, and this is going to bring you inside of the save load checkpoint function library, and more specifically inside of the save checkpoint function, which is this one. Now we're inside of here. So this is where the information gets saved, or gets set and then saved inside of the game object. It uses this save game reference, which is where we've created our brand new is character small. So now we should be able to set is character small. Whoops. Now you can place your sets anywhere in this sequence as long as it's before the save game slot, right? Because everything needs to be set before it saves. So we're just gonna put it here. Now we need to plug this into something. So to do this, click on the begin node, and if you click on new, you can add new variables. Now again, these variables can be anything that you need. We're gonna use the boolean again. Character small. You can name it anything, and then we're gonna pass it to the save checkpoint. So basically now every time it overlaps, it's gonna take the information here and it's gonna set it to the save game object. So in our case, just to test it out, we're gonna say that this is true. So to test this out really quick, I'm just gonna make a quick system custom event print is small. We're gonna get, and we're gonna get is small. We're gonna print this just to make sure that it works. And now we need to activate it. So I'm gonna go inside of my character blueprint. I'm gonna have an input of L. just like that, and get all actors of class checkpoint, and we're just gonna look for the first one. So this is gonna be index 0. So this is basically the one with the big dinosaur face, and print this one. Okay, so now every time I press L, it's gonna print the is small from the save game object. So when we start, it should be false, because as it is inside of the checkpoint here, it's set to false, right? But once we overlap this, it should update and say true. So now if I press L, it says false, and when I get my actor, now it's updated to true. So even if I restart, it's still going to be true. Okay? So this is how you pass information to the save game object from the checkpoint system. Basically going through the function library. Oops, over here, function library. Yeah. And yeah, just this player variable was really there just as it says, as a placeholder. You don't need it. You could just delete it. I think I actually did here. I deleted it. Yeah, sorry I didn't show you guys this, but you can delete it. It's basically just there to show you, hey, you can create new variables and pass them on over here. Same for inside of the checkpoint save. Player variables here. I didn't delete them here, but this is just an example, and you could change it to, I don't know, names, to not an array. You could create more like we just did. Is character small? So whatever information you need to store and stuff, you can do it inside of here. So hopefully this was helpful, and if you have any more questions, let me know.